Well, let's talk about this grand spiritual event. Joining us now is Dr. Hiraman Tiwari, Professor Indian Culture and History at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi itself. Good evening to you, Professor. The first
Good
question that
evening,
really
Gautam.
comes to mind is how can something like this mammoth exercise, 450 million visitors estimated over 45 days, be pulled off? But the fact, of course, is that this is something, I mean, the numbers have been getting bigger and bigger, but it's something that's been pulled off for centuries altogether, right here in India, in Prayagraj, the same place.
Absolutely, Gautam. You're absolutely right. As your package showed, there are so many things attached to this grand festival of this country. It's a spiritual festival. It's an economic festival in many ways, not so much economic, but of course, spiritual, religious. This congregation or a gathering, as you said, 450 odd billion over 45, 46 days. It's just unimaginable. You can imagine how many countries don't even have put together population of this kind. But more importantly, as your package showed, at least 1500 years ago, Wanzang, when I was visiting here, just imagine 500,000 people gathered there. Now, the objective of this ritual, this festival, which is Mahakumbh this time, of course, there are three kumbhs, as you know, every 6 year in Prayag and in other places. There are 4 places in India where you have Kumbh, Prayag being the biggest one, of course, then Nashik, then Ujjain and Haridwar. But Prayag is the one which is called the king of Kumbh, and most of the literature talks about Tirtharaj, the king of the Tirtha, the king of the gatherings where people come to cleanse not only their body and mind, but also soul. In that context, if you look at it, for thousands of years, at least 3,000 years record is available that people have been going. Although you know that every year around 14th of January, which is called Maha Kumbh Mela, people have been gathering forever. But these 3 different kumbhs, Ardha Kumbh and Kumbh, which happens after 12 years, Ardha Kumbh happens after 6 years. And why is it called Mahakumbh, Gautam? Because it completes the 12 cycles of 12 years, which means it is only after 144 years that this time this Mahakumbh is being celebrated, where millions and millions and millions of people, academic, spiritual, businessmen, social anthropologists, those who want to study the humanity. This is not just a Sangam, but the sea of humanity moving in tandem to cleanse their soul and to cleanse their mind of anything, any doubt that they might have had. And imagine in a place like Prayag, so many people, if you think that they are coming 450 million people, roughly, on average, over 1 million people will be coming, or 100 million people will be coming there every day. Imagine how much humanity will be going there and bathing, and people prepare for years and years in many ways. The devotees prepare for years, the businessmen prepare for years, the security prepares for years. And this is an occasion where the government of Uttar Pradesh, of course, has laid out a wonderful plan. New things have been brought in. The drones will be used of a very special kind. Everything is mapped out. The digital infrastructure, which has been expanded so much that people, the devotees, the visitors have no problem to go wherever they want to go. And the arrangement for people to come and go, to stay there, and also the hotels and other management that is being prepared there, it's
Yes.
just unimaginable. And as our package showed just now, that there are many institutions, business management, social sciences, and sciences institutions, which will be sending their professors and scholars to study how actually for thousands of years in this country, this kind of affair, this kind of a management, this kind of a gathering takes place, which, by the way, the objective of it is to cleanse oneself.
Yes, and one wonders, beyond the fact that, bathing in the Sangam at during this period, it can
What
wash
exactly?
away your sins. What else do you think is it that draws people not just from within the country, from all over India, which is a huge country in itself, but from all over the world? There are people coming in to study it, not just as a sociological exercise, but also in terms of how things are being managed, the logistics of it, the arrangements, and of course the use of high tech. You mentioned digital, but there is the use of all kinds of technology, even to counter cyber crimes.
Absolutely, Gautam. And see, just imagine over 32,000 policemen have been deployed, and God knows how many other kinds of security personnel. As you said, the digital technology is being used this time to prepare both for the management, for the easy access and exit of the visitors, of the pilgrims, of the devotees, of other people, but also to see that no untoward incident happens. And therefore, this becomes extremely important even for those who are doing data science, AI, etc., to understand, study at such a large scale in one small place. I mean, when you compare the area and then the number of people that we're visiting is just comparatively very small. So therefore, for centuries and in last couple of 100 years, people have really invested their academic and scientific energy to understand how it is being done. But more importantly, it depends entirely on how the devotees come. Most of them go just for one particular purpose, of course, to see the whole wonder of this place, Prayag and the Kumbh and the Sangam, Triveni, where the three rivers are supposed. Two, of course, are clearly visible. If you have been there, and I have been there, you can see the two different waters of Ganga and Yamuna at the point of meeting. But then the greatest of that river, Saraswati, it is considered to be kept by Ganga in its womb right from the Himalayas. And all these legends and stories have been for centuries and millennia been making people think, what is it in that place? And the texts, of course, both religious and philosophical texts, are full of this wonder that Prayag is. You have heard the story how actually it came to be thousands of years ago. It is actually dateless. But the text, as far as back as we can go,
it's being shown in the graphic as well, right on the screen.
Absolutely. So you can see how this place becomes important. This, as you mentioned, the management of this place, the arrangement, the discipline of the devotees, the discipline which is, of course, inculcated by those who come here. All these things is a wonder, and where therefore you can see lots and lots of Western scholars have been interested how actually this place, this country, and this particular state, Uttar Pradesh, and any government that is there has to manage it. And this time, as I said, because it is a Mahakumbh, after 144 years, very rare for people in one lifetime to see this. And also, the technology that has been advanced in this country is being used to facilitate, to smoothen every activity that is supposed to be performed at Sangam, at Triveni, in Prayag. And this time also, the entire district, a new district has been carved out.
Yes.
Earlier,
so do you think that no effort has really been spared to sort of position India through the Mahakumbh as a global destination for spiritual purposes, for even adventure for that matter?
Absolutely, Gautam, because you see, I said in the beginning, this is not just a spiritual and religious occasion and gathering. It is also to see how a business can be managed. As you know, lots of hotels and other organizations which are service facilities, they have planned out, many of them for charitable reasons, and many of them, of course, they'll have to take the expenses. So they prepare for the entire year, and in this case, 12 years or 6 years, for making their arrangement to facilitate and to give facility to the visitors. And all the scientific knowledge that is being generated, the police, as you said, are going to use all kinds of digital AI facilities and knowledge to control or to see and to observe and to facilitate anybody who visits there. And therefore, it is something, and it is a heritage, a UN heritage anyway. But in any case, every time a Kumbh Mela happens, there is a greater and greater effort to showcase that in India, for a religious purpose, for a spiritual purpose, not only from India but from across the world. People have been visiting and are visiting. How do we manage this thing so smoothly, so effortlessly in many ways?
Yes, and that will be on display through the course of the next 45 days as things get underway very early in the morning on a Monday. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about it.
Thank you very much.
Professor Tiwari.
Thank you. The best.